Today is the 23rd of May, 2025, Crazy Market Talk with KEL, and let's go into details. But before that, disclaimer apply as usual. The second half, we will talk about the DAX market, and it's one market that I think you should really capitalize it, especially for the upcoming this Crazy Cup Challenge, this season one. Yeah, I think this DAX will really make you guys make you score and win in the market. All right. So before that, let's talk about the macro market first. Okay. So now we know that what happened is the S&P 500. Now, it's not every day I'll do this, but why I purposely want to cover this one for today is because there's certain thing that caught my attention and I want to take a look this up. Now, one thing to note is that in a party line vote on yesterday, the House member approved the bill that includes lower taxes and additional military spending. Hey, wait a minute. Why is US spending more money now on military? I mean, Donald Trump is supposed to be a guy who advocates peace, right? So why is he spending more money on military? So that one I haven't read yet. But I just feel that somewhere is wrong. And I think that because they might be preparing for something, or at least trying to tell the whole world that they are ready for something. That's one thing to take note of, yeah? The measures which goes to the Senate right now could increase the US government debt by trillions of dollars. And that will definitely raise the deficit at a time whereby fears of a flat inflation due to the tariff that Donald Trump has, weighted in the market. So now the thing is right now, it's going to weigh on the bond price and definitely the yield will go up even higher, right? So the Congressional Budget Office put the price tag for the bill to at least $4 trillion. Oh my God. I mean, this will burst to $40 trillion for the trade deficit. So one point is they're getting Elon Musk to cut down on their spending and all the etc. On the other side is how they're spending even more money. And I told you before, right? Actually, Donald Trump has spent more money than what he said. He said that he will reduce, which he did, but he's spending more money too. And this is really happening as we're speaking right now. So short term, the tax bill is good for the economy. Why? Because imagine you spend money on military, so some of the companies will be doing very well, especially those doing this weaponry. So those companies that do weaponry, I think you should focus on them. They should be doing well in the next few weeks and months. Okay, so take note of that, yeah? The other thing is this. We have lower taxes, right? So of course, what happened? It will boost the GDP growth for 2026, that's for sure, because you reduce tax for a lot of people and increase spending, like as defense, yeah? And all these things will be stimulative to the economy for GDP growth. But in the long run, the measure will add deficit and it's bad news for the market, especially when the yield kept going higher while the bond price kept going lower. That means that people now realize that, hey, the price of the bond, it keep on coming down, right? That means the value of the bonds getting lower, and that causes the yield to go up, right? And when the yield goes up itself, the interest to pay out will be even more. So you can see what's happening right now. Now, I was just going through my notes yesterday, okay? And then remember saying this to some of you, if you remember. I said that one way for the US to have a trade deficit reduction, I said this like 4 years ago, then someone must trigger a similar Asian financial crisis to basically blanket everybody currency downwards, while US dollar upwards and US downwards. By doing that itself, right, straight away, all the debts can reduce. Do you remember that itself? If anyone remember that I said this before 4 to 5 years ago, then let me know, yeah? Do you remember that? If you do remember, let me know, yeah? Okay. Oh, yeah. A lot of incoming calls from over there. All right. No one remembered? Okay, maybe this batch of students didn't remember. Yeah, I said this 4 years ago. Yeah, going through my notes. So it doesn't matter. So if that's the case itself, right, then this is why I want you to listen to me for today. So now you can see that the treasury yields have now hit a high, all right, hit a high since 2023. The 30 years have hit a high. So what's happening right now, right? People who invest a 30-year bond will get a higher yield because it's a longer time period, right? But the thing is this right now, right? Why the yield keep on going higher is because the bond price keep going lower. And when that actually happens, all right, the costs will go up, right? So some people realize that 30 years, they're scared that their money will evaporate because of the dollar coming down. So they sell the bonds of 30 years to buy the shorter time one, like say 3 months, 6 month bonds. Okay, the yield itself, of course, if compared to the difference, is about 1%. So 1% is a lot of money, right? But they rather go with a shorter bond, the shorter time frame bond, because they also are very worried that don't know whether US dollar will depreciate too much to the point that now the conversion doesn't make sense. Now, if you use US dollar to buy US dollar bond, that's fine. But we're talking about overseas people. Example, if I'm in Singapore and I use 1.35 to go and buy your bonds, and then eventually itself, right, your bonds itself goes down in value, that's one, and the dollar also go down, right? Then when I get back my money, I get much lesser for whatever I paid for, then the yield doesn't make sense to me. So that's one thing to take note of that, yeah? And of course, you also know that, right, the 30-year has hit 5%, and you look at it around, you can see this chart here, the highest it ever went was back in 2023. I think it went to a high of almost like 5.25%, I think. Cannot really get down it all now. One more, 5.10. So we are not very far away from the all-time, I mean, the last recent high, yeah? So that's why I think that this is where it gets very, very scary. And now you know that now Donald Trump has actually created his own dinner whereby he get people who do crypto to come into his office and then bid for a coin. And those, the top 25 bidder, I think they will get to tour around White House. My God, he's turning the whole entire White House like a business. Seriously, I mean, the whole thing doesn't really make sense here now. But again, when a person needs money, right, he will do a lot of funny stuff. Okay, so now he's doing all this as we are saying right now. All right, so that is something that again I want you to take note. These are really happening to the US market. Now, I want to share another little thing that maybe you don't know, or you may know because you're watching the videos, right? Do you know that, okay, this Elon Musk, one of the guy that Elon Musk really hate in the financial market, do you know who is that? Can you text in the group chat right now? There's one particular guy recently has really pissed off Elon Musk. Do you know who is that? It's a very well-known financial guy. Can anyone tell me? Anyone? Yes, Soros. Correct. Thank you, Cheryl. Excellent. Now, we all know that Soros is the one who attacked the Asia financial crisis and stuff like that, right? Okay. Do you know that Bissett, the now current guy is very close to Donald Trump, is actually a disciple of Soros? Do you know that? Maybe you've been watching some news, if you watch some YouTube or some TikTok, you may have watched this, right? But the interesting part is this. This guy is well known for, basically, is one of the key engineer to actually tell Soros to short the power market back then. Bissett, yes, the one that this guy here. Let me just bring to you now. U.S. Secretary. Yes, this is the guy. Scott Bessent. All right. This is the guy itself. The one. Let me bring the image for you. This guy, yeah, very famous now, right? It's almost everywhere, right? Okay, his background is very simple. He is actually, can put that Soros together, you will see a very good on this. Now, Scott Kenneth Homer Bissett, okay, is an American former hedge fund manager serving 2025 as the 79th U.S. Secretary of Treasury. He's a former partner at Soros Fund Manager and founded Key Squared Group, all right, a macro investment firm. So now you understand why suddenly things will always change dramatically the next day. Yes, understand. So now think about this. If he is actually a former partner at Soros Fund Management, think about this. All right, and now Elon Musk is inside there itself. Come on, I think that is very clear already, right? So if you think that Elon Musk is the one, all right, is the one that decided to leave this Donald Trump, maybe he didn't live in happiness. If you actually look at the video whereby when Donald Trump thanks him, right, you can see that the whole atmosphere was very, very wrong. It doesn't show us that Donald Trump appreciating Elon Musk. It's telling him that, okay, you've done your job, now screw off, that feeling itself. So that is what I feel that will likely be happening. And this guy, Bissett, he is one of them who engineered, and Soros, as we know now, have been shorting Tesla. So all these things, actually, if you look at it from a very, very simple point, I think we are really not far away from a real crazy selling in the market. We are really not far away. Really, I'm not kidding you. So if you ask me today, right, everything all together, right, I think that why Warren Buffett right, has said that the dollar is going to hell, all right, or a currency going to hell. And why Ray Dalio said that even now any changes too late. All these basically tells you that we're going to see something pretty nasty in the time to come. Okay, all clear? If all clear, press number 1 right now. Yeah. So thank you for listening to all this thing, because I just want you to know that all these are a very important macro picture apart than RSI, MACD, stochastic. Now I've been watching, I actually been reading a lot of local trainers sharing in the market. I think that most of them are very warned about what is happening, but no one go into this sort of conspiracy theory like I do. And to me, it's all right when things get wrong, right? It's always you can see from another angle that things always happen. And when it happens itself, right, there always will be a catalyst. All right. So for today, let's look at the Dow Jones now for today's market. Yeah. Okay, so today's Dow Jones, the opening price, as you can see, is 41,924, and the MLP is 41,846. And this MLP coincides very nicely with the pivot one at 41,788. So, which means that it's a very good chance that this will become a very important support level. So that day I was telling you guys, right, I think it was 42,300 plus, right? I told you if the market breaks below that, there'll be a lot of selling, right? Remember? I think it was here. Let me just see. I think this one, right? This is the top. Yeah, 338, right? Yeah, correct. So I think the day this your Raj and your way, right? Tell me about that. Remember this 42,338 level that we talked about? I said that if the market basically breaks below this number, the market will sell, right? Okay. So today we have a brand new number to take note of, which is here. Okay. And you notice that this particular number now is actually now the so-called the level of this long-term bearishness for the MA 200. Okay. So guys, let me give you a very important warning now. Today, please watch out for 41,788 for the very, very important support. As long as the market stays above this number, the market is still good, okay? But if the market breaks down and go down more than this, then I can tell you that the market will likely be coming down to here, which is either 41,502, which is the MA30, or the KCB at 41,375. Now, there is a gap here itself, and that gap happened to be the KCB. So that's the reason why I said that today there could be a potential 600 to 700 points potential sell-off, okay? If the bond market really continue to go down, okay? Potential, not 100%, okay? There's no 100% in the market. It's just a potentially what could happen, yeah? So traders, you just have to take note of this, okay? Now, of course, this is on the downside. What if the market is bullish? Now, because now you can see the unemployment data is good. The S&P numbers are the one that what was that yesterday? Give me a minute, I lost my track. Okay, hold on, yeah. Yesterday's the S&P global service PMI was good, right? So that is another thing to watch out for, yeah? Okay. So the good part is that if the market, instead of going down, it goes up, right? Then where would it go? Yeah, then you'll go back to this MA 200, which is the 43,600, 42,364. Okay, all clear? If all clear, press number 2 right now. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Let's continue. Now, this morning, we have a very incredible movement in gold market. Let's take a look. Now, today's gold, you can see that the color keep on flickering, right? Now, because once it's below OP and below pivot 2, the system will automatically flip it to magenta. If it's above OP but below pivot 2, it'll be white color. Interesting, yeah? You know that, right? Okay, so now the thing is this. Let's take a look. Now, if you notice on your screen, there are, hey, how come got so many KCB, right? Oh, that means that if there's some error, right? Okay, so what must you do? You shouldn't have 4 KCB line. You must have only have 2 KCB line at any one time. So when you see that itself, just do yourself a favor, just change the time frame again, tweak around 5 minutes to the day chart, yeah, and then it should be able to resolve this matter, yeah. Okay, make sure that your time frame is only a selected one time frame. Go back to the day chart, and then this should solve the KCB problem. So now you can see now the top KCB is no longer available, right? Because now the market is slightly below OP, so the bottom KCB come out. Now it happened to be like this, whereby the market keep on switching between two OP right now, and then you have this type of thing happening, yeah. No choice, because now it's very near to the OP level. That's why the system was confused. Okay, see, okay, it's moving around. Okay, never mind. Focus with me. Today, the main thing is this. Look at it. The MLP today is a very strong resistance. The OP is 3295, MLP 3304. The market basically blocked by the MLP because today is actually a classic sell day. Today, the pivot 2 is 3335. It's a classic sell day if the market stays below OP. But at the same time itself, right, you have a very strong support at MA30, which is a short-term bullishness. So today, we have a very big potential movement coming up soon. One, if the market can break MLP again, I am very confident to see it will see 3314, which is the KCB. So the market breaks above OP, all right, and break MLP. MLP is 3304. We will get to see 3314. So OP is 3295, right? The MLP is 3014, right? It's 3304. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so which means that if the market can stay above OP, it will go for 3304 the MLP. And then after that, it will go for the KCB at 3314. Now, if the market breaks below OP, then the first number it will go will be the MA30 3287. Now, this morning, it already tested MLP. All right, tested MLP. Okay, tested MLP. Touches the MLP and then rejected. Then it go down to MA30 supported. So this means that the market now is testing both sides. And when the market tests both sides, that means very soon there will be a very, very big movement coming in. So everybody take note of this now. Okay, I want you to take note of this. When you have market behaving like this, touching the MAs, right? Already remember I told you once the market touch MA, it's either going to be big movement upside or big movement downside. So that means right now, right, we do a hypothesis. If there's going to be selling, gold will come down here, and that will give you as low as 3230. Okay, 3230. Okay, upside will be as high as a potential of 3366. 3366. So now, very simple. The opening price is 3295. If you are bullish, you target 3366 for profit. That means along the way, you don't take profit at all. Die also aim at 3366. Okay? If you are bearish, right, for whatever reason, then you aim at 3230 for the bearish side to take profit on the gold if you are shorting gold. Okay, all clear. At the moment now, the KSI and the KCX are all bullish at the moment, so it's more favorable towards the upside. But the recent selling itself is normal because you must understand the market came down first and then now recovered to the KCX, as you can see. So now it hit a midpoint, right? You have to pull back. Okay, let me show you the note of Fibonacci. It'll be easier to understand. For those who do Fibonacci, it'll be easier, right? Take a look. Yeah, so the highest point you drag, and you can see why now. Take a look. You see, the Fibonacci tells you very clearly the 61.8 itself, right? Which is here, which is at this point, 61.8. That's why you can see gold now not able to go through because it's now at the 61.8 level. Interesting, right? Yeah. So if the market decided to go up, then naturally the upside itself can be as high as 3,366. But same thing, it doesn't, and downside can be as low as 3,2,330, right? If I'm not wrong. Yeah. All clear? If all clear, press number 3 right now. So there's going to be a very big profit here, guys. Yeah, it's a huge profit itself. So I'll give you another thing to consider, but this is not the best thing to do. It's not the smartest thing to do, but it's the right thing to do. Is that you can actually do a buy sell. Okay. You can put a buy more. Example, you buy 0.05, you sell 0.03. So you are technically hedged, but you're still favoring the buy side. So once the market decides to go one direction, then you cut away that particular direction and you just hang on to the rest and get the maximum profit. So like that itself, right? You won't be in a way that, oh yeah, I miss out the trade. You understand my point? Yes, only for accounts that can do buy sell hedging. For those who are doing futures, you can't do that, yeah? Okay, for those doing futures, you can't do that. You need to have one that's allow you to do a buy sell at the same time. But of course, you say, KEL, like that isn't that a waste of money, waste of time? Well, it's for people who really want to, capture a big trade and they don't know whether which is correct. So that's buy two. So one buy, one sell. All clear? If all clear, press number 4 right now. Now, personally, I am buying because I believe that the US dollar is going to go down further. This is my personal view of the market, yeah? My personal view. But I cannot deny this, yeah? If the market start to tank on the stock market example, then naturally itself, right, we're going to see the gold coming down too at the same time, okay? Okay, someone text me on the side, KEL, can you show the bigger trend for the Dow Jones then? Okay, hold on, give me a minute. Okay, so now you can see this is the Dow Jones chart. Very simple. The Dow Jones chart, if you want to know the upside, right, this is the KCB, which is 42,645. So this is the KCB that the Dow will go. If the market is to recover, it will go back to here. Okay, 42. Okay. 42,645. Okay, so this is the upside. So where are we right now? We're about 700 points away. So that is the upside. Downside itself, right? You can see actually it's near. The downside itself, right? Should be 41,375. Okay. All right. So this is the Dow Jones one. Okay. Now Dow Jones one compared to gold, different. Gold got all the MAs around to trigger it. The Dow one still don't have until reach the 41,502. Then that is the first MA to watch out for. Okay, all right. So that will be all for my today's sharing. Thank you for your waiting. Okay, and do one more is currency. Yeah, hold a minute. This is currency euro. It is now basically trading higher. Price went up, but the thing is that it's trading higher because the dollar is, I think, is coming down at the moment. Okay. All right, guys. I will see you now for the next part, which is the revision of the DAX market. Yeah, give me 2 minutes. I'll come back to you guys.